through healthy the other day?
Yeah. Yep.
Is Josh practicing all of that?
We gave him a little break, so more maintenance type stuff. So he's close to ramping up again.
What is he maintaining?
Just, played in the summer, that sort of thing. So we just want to make sure he's completely healthy before we completely ramp him up.
Can you take much from film from a preseason game?
Yeah, you can't. And every game it gives you, things you can take, both good and bad. So we look at both, and then lock into the things we want to focus on, and we know that we have to improve to get better. And just take it day by day. Think about what we have to do to get better each and every day, and not skip over anything. So we had a good film session today. We had a good practice, and just keep stacking days. That's what we're locked into.
You guys, of the 9 guys, presumably in your rotation, 8 of those guys can do stuff with the ball, initiate, create something. Was that a conscious effort that you guys made to go out and kind of load up with?
Well, I think that's and we did, but I also think that's the way of the league right now. We're seeing a lot of 5-out basketball. We're seeing a lot of interchangeable parts. You're seeing, usually a point guard, 3 wings, and a big. And the bigs have gotten to be so skilled that they can play away from the basket. And so versatility, I think, is important. I think you go more by position on defense than you do on offense. So everything's pace and space, and then read and react. But play to each other's strengths, cover up weaknesses, and know who you're on the floor with at all times.
Yeah, I know you say that last year, this year, that GM poll came out yesterday, and the expectations for you guys are a lot higher than they were in the past. I think it's a lot of decent number of votes for third in the East.
Yeah, I put a lot of stock in that stuff. And look, it's great that there's that type of interest in the league. I think that's more for the fans. It's really, and we can't fall for stuff like that. Whether it's praise or whether it's criticism, the only thing that really matters is what we think. And so we know if we do all the things that are necessary, we will get better. And the whole focus has to be to improve throughout the year and to be playing our best at the end.
Do you think that you guys are looked at differently now than you were a few years ago?
I don't know. That's not a question for me. So I know how I look at us, and I know how our organization looks at the team. So I think that's the important thing, is not to get lost. And every year you could look at those polls, and then at the end you look at what actually happened, and oftentimes it's very different. So it doesn't carry a lot of meaning. You approach each day. I think you have to respect every opponent that you play against. You can't get into this league without being a great player. So everyone's capable of beating you, and you have to be ready to play each and every night. So I think the first thing for us is to, number one, be a team, and then to be ready. We have to be ready for everybody. So there's no shortcuts to this. And then we have to be mentally tough. We have to be able to get through things.
Tom, I know when we ask you about you guys in transition, you often talk about how you like a really good kick-ahead pass. You guys also have a number of guys who can grab a defensive rebound and go. What do you want that process to be like? Like if a Dante or a Josh or whoever else gets a defensive rebound, like where do you want?
Yeah, I think when you study transition, oftentimes those are the hardest breaks to stop. When a guard gets a long rebound and he goes, you create easy offense from that. And oftentimes, if you have a 4 or a guy like Josh, who I really don't consider to be, I don't know what he is. He's a basketball player. He can play every position on the floor. When he gets it and he goes, that puts people at a big disadvantage. So I think as a team, you're always trying to create advantages for each other. So oftentimes, it's the guy who cuts. People, I think, underestimate the impact that Mitch has on our offense. Mitch is a great screener, puts a lot of pressure on the rim, forces the defense to collapse. Then he's a heck of an offensive rebounder. I think the best in the league. And that he gets people to collapse with more than one guy on him. that means someone's open. He does a great job of kicking it out as well. So that adds great value to your offense.
How do you see the backup center? Is it mostly Isaiah? Is Jericho making a case for
Yeah, Jericho, I mentioned this the other day. I think he's had a great camp, and I like the way he's coming along because I think you need 3 centers, but he's getting comfortable playing the 4, so he's playing 2 positions now, and I think that adds to the rebounding. We know how important the defense, the rebounding, and keeping our turnovers down, so we want to play fast, but we don't want to sacrifice the rebounding.
I know you talked about Josh playing that backup role, but is that something you want to see, 2 pretty much 7-footers out there together?
Well, I like that. I like with the speed of the game with Josh at the 4, and we don't sacrifice the rebounding because he's such a great rebounder. But I also know that if teams are big, we have the component of Jericho playing the 4 as well. And of course, Julius is going to play a good chunk of those minutes. But I like having that flexibility there. And we saw, I think Isaiah can play some 4 as well.
I know I asked you about if you wanted to go with 14 or 15 yesterday.
Yeah.
In terms of who you guys hold on to and who you don't,
Yeah.
what kind of traits do you like? I know some coaches like the guy at the end of their bench just to be like an amazing practice player. Somebody wants maybe somebody who can help them more in a game. Like, what kind of traits are you looking for
So,
in those last couple of guys?
well, I think the big thing is helping us be a good team. So it starts with practice, and you always think about it's not that those guys don't have an important role. They do, because they help your team get ready each and every night. And so you want them to be mentally engaged with the team, and then you want them to be ready. So if you have an injury and they're playing 10 games for you, that they can go in there and play very efficiently for you. And I think those are important characteristics to have. So I'm very pleased with the guys that Leon and his staff brought in. And it's in the end, it's going to be a very tough call because they're very, very close in what they bring to the team. But they've all added a lot to each and every day in practice.
Are you guys definitely keeping all the 2-way guys as is, or is there a chance you guys like toggle out a 2-way guy?
Yeah, I'm. To be honest, I'm not quite sure. Like we'd like to figure out a way where we can keep a lot of them. So, and that's how good they've been. So, hopefully it works out.
Tom, you mentioned possibly even Isaiah at the 4. Is that something you plan to get a look at in the preseason? Yeah. We see it in practice. I like he and Jericho. They play very effectively together, and oftentimes, like I said, I'll go more by how they're being defended. Are they being defended? Who do they have their 4 on? Who do they have their 5 on? So they really have to know both spots. Offensively, they have to know both spots. Okay, it's a little different. Defensively, virtually the same. And Jericho has, incredible. I think we saw it last night. When we played Boston on Monday, is that they were real small at the end, and Jericho's comfortable guarding. He can guard it 1 through 5.
On the other side, when Jericho's at the 4 and they're like sagging off of him, and you have him in the corner, who's setting a lot of screens? What do you think was his process?
Great.
there?
I think making quick decisions, either with the cut to the rim or the dribble uphill. He doesn't stop moving, and he's really skilled. Like I think people haven't seen that part of him yet. Very comfortable with dribble handoffs, can pass, can screen, can make quick decisions. So that part is a great left hand. So there's a lot that he has.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you.